We're making this video because we had a public meeting last week, and I asked at the public meeting how many people thought Hampden Fields had already had planning permission. And about 30 or 40% at least thought that Hampden Fields and indeed Woodlands already had planning permission. Now that is categorically not the case. All that's happened since last time is the council has resolved to grant planning permission. Now what that means is essentially they've just moved it back to officers to continue the process of developing the case for Hampden Fields. They have not granted formal planning permission at all. So that's essentially all they've done. Now there is an incredibly long way to go still before planning permission and building can start taking place on those sites. So what do they still need to do? They need to grant planning permission through negotiating what's called a Section 106 agreement. That's where they agree who's going to pay for what. Now what's happened here is they've promised the absolute earth to try and get this through. They promised new schools, loads of new roads, loads and loads of flood mitigation. It is going to cost millions and millions of pounds. That's a very complicated agreement. Second thing they need to do is actually formally grant planning permission, and that is the stage where we can formally challenge it legally, and we're looking to do that very much so. Thirdly, they need to get the local plan through, what's called the Vale of Aylesbury local plan. That is going to be heavily contested, especially on transport grounds. And the final thing they need to do is get something through what's called reserved matters. That's the detail of the plan, and we know that several things are going to change at that stage because there are several weaknesses in what they currently plan which simply have to change. It's taken them 8 years to get this far, 8 years, and it may take them significantly longer before they get anywhere near building this, and every step of the way we will be scrutinising and fighting. We're preparing for absolutely every eventuality. AVDC could solve the Section 106 any time between now and maybe a year or 2 years' time. It can take that long. They can go on for years. But in the meantime, what we've done is we've beefed up our legal team. We've now got a QC involved. We've consulted widely. We've looked at the legal case. We are really waiting for AVDC to make their next move before we can decide what's happened. But we will be challenging this every single step of the way. In the meantime, we are going to fight the local plan because the transport around Aylesbury is absolutely critical. So this isn't a fight just about Hampden Fields and about Western Turville or Stoke Mandeville or Aston Clinton or the villages to the south of Aylesbury. This is a fight for the whole of Aylesbury. It's really important that everybody understands that that local plan is crucial to the success of Aylesbury. And currently putting 15,000 houses around Aylesbury, even if you put the roads around that plan, is going to be a disaster in traffic terms. So we're determined to fight it. We encourage everybody from the wider Aylesbury to come support our cause. We're determined that with people supporting us, we can make a major difference to the town, for the better, for the future, for everybody. Please join us, please support us. There's an incredibly long way to go, and this is important for the whole of Aylesbury, not just the villages.